Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to Being on Stage, the only podcast that gives you motivation, inspiration, and confidence to be better on stage. No matter how you entertain, sing, dance, band, comedian, public speaking, MC, drag, burlesque, performance art, or street performer, this is the show for you. Hey, rock stars, Reggie Dawson, your host of the Being on Stage podcast. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. And if you are just tuning in for the first time, hey, thanks. Welcome to the show. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. I'm just coming off a month of doing a podcast every single day. I mean, every day. And one day I did it twice because my wife was like, do it. You got this. She's super supportive. And I shared on, I think it was July 31st, I shared some lessons that I learned from doing my podcast every day. So for those of you that don't know, this is my passion. This is my dream. I coach performers to turn their talent into a performance and then turn that performance into an experience for their audience. I build up your confidence. I give you motivation and inspiration to continue to move forward. That's what this podcast is all about. And to do that every single day, I'll tell you, is, and I hardly ever say this, it even feels awkward to say, but it has been a blessing. Now, why don't I say blessing on a regular basis? I don't know. Ever since I was little, it just feels weird to be like, oh, I'm so blessed. I have a blessing. And it's not a religious thing. It's just, I don't know. I've always felt awkward saying it. But it doesn't really matter how I feel. It matters, what this podcast is about. And some of the lessons that I learned had to do with, overcoming distractions, overcoming obstacles, figuring out a way, and ultimately realizing that it's not that difficult. So I listen to podcasts as well. I know, a podcast guy that listens to podcasts. Who would have thought? But I listen to podcasts as well. One of my favorite podcasts is called Every Day is Saturday with Sam Crowley. I think if you look it up on iTunes, you have to type in Sam Crowley or Every Day is Saturday, one of the two. But yeah, so I listen to that. And one of the things he always says is he says, you're going to give 40 years or so to your job, but you're not going to give your passion 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. And it got me thinking, that's one of the reasons I committed to do this podcast every day is because, what, just like you, and I'm sure you have a job, but just like you, I get up, I go to work every single day, and I'm there for 9 to 10 hours. I mean, I'm a salary employee, supervisor, corporate company, all that good stuff. Ooh, almost dropped a bomb. And, I get up and I go, and I got that pit in my stomach, and I dread it every day. But the fact that I've gotten to do this podcast every day, and that was my commitment, was if I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to work every single day, and I'm going to work at this job that ultimately, and they know this too, ultimately, I don't plan on spending the rest of my life at. My dream is to, indeed, coach performers full time. If you are looking for a coach, someone to help you through your next performance or take you through that next step of your career, hit me up. Reggie at beingonstage.com, or, make it easier on you. You can just hop right on the calendar. I'll, pencil yourself in, really, and go to beingonstage.com/calendar and name, email, pick a date and time, and let's do this thing. But that's the dream, that's the dream, is that you guys keep setting up appointments, and ultimately, I'm not going to lie, ultimately I get paid to, coach performers through that next barrier that they're trying to crush. And if I'm going to do a job every day, that's not every day, I go 5 days a week. But if I'm going to do a job 5 days a week, and I've been there for 8 years now, why am I not willing to give this thing that I love to do? Why am I not doing that every day? Why was I not, actually going after what it is I want to do? I did a podcast here and there. I've posted on social media. I've done videos. I have a group, the Being on Stage group. I used to do a video every week and everything, but it wasn't like an active pursuit. It was never a priority to me. And I'm being honest here. Like, listen, that's one thing you're going to get from this podcast is I'm 100% honest, real, authentic, whatever you want to call it. It's who I've become. And actually this podcast has helped me become more of that person. But it wasn't a priority to me. And if it's not a priority to me, if it's not a priority to you, your dreams are never going to happen. That vision that you have for yourself, the vision I had for myself, It's never going to happen if I'm not actively going after it every single day. It doesn't mean you got to hustle. It doesn't mean you got to work at it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to become the person that you want to be. But you do got to put in some effort every single day. And there's going to be days when you can't rehearse, absolutely. But why can't you post a video on Facebook? Why can't you create a post? Why can't you take some pictures? Why can't you, look up some new stuff and watch a couple of videos, figure out what you want to learn next? Why can't you take those smaller steps every single day? Because listen, those small daily actions and I talked about this, literally July 31st, like 2 days ago. It's called a daily routine makes daily action. But when you take those small daily actions, a couple of things happen. One, you start to get what's called momentum. And I don't know if you've ever watched like a marble roll down an angle, but the more momentum it has, and it keeps getting faster and faster and faster. And that's what momentum is the more you do, the more you're going to be able to do, and you're going to start to move faster and faster and faster, and you're going to start to get more and more and more momentum built up behind you, so that when you do come up against that wall, you do come up against that barrier, you're just going to crash right through it because you got so much momentum built up behind you from doing those small daily steps. And listen, I'm late to the game. I'm late to figuring this out, and I'm still figuring this out. I'm a freaking month in. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to go the next 90 days, but that's the commitment. I told my wife on August 1st, yesterday. Oh my God, I keep saying the dates. I told my wife yesterday, we were waking up, and I had time off of work, so we like to spend some time together just goofing off in the bed. Like, not like in the bed, but, like tickle, cuddle, poke, stuff like stupid stuff. Like, we're really stupid. If you ever meet us and see us together, we're that disgusting couple that's in love with each other 11 years later and makes everyone else want to puke or slit their wrists. That's us. We're that couple. But we were being cute and everything, and I told her, I said, I finished 31 days and it wasn't that bad. I mean, I spent a half hour a day, 2 15-minute increments. Did you know there's 96 15-minute increments in a day? I spend 2 of them, maybe 3, doing a podcast out of 96. I mean, granted, you spend a large chunk of that sleeping. I think it's like 8 times 4 is 40, like 48, like half of them sleep. 48? I don't know. But you spend, a good amount of them sleeping, but there's 96 of them in a day. 96 15-minute increments that you can do something with. And I told my wife, I said, I think I want to go for 90 days because 30 days was really easy. Now, granted, I didn't see, and I'm not like trying to bash you, the listener, but I didn't see like these amazing results. I don't have 1,000 people listening to this podcast, but I am seeing results. And I figured, if I see this little bit of result after 30 days, what's it going to look like after 90 days? What's it going to look like after a year? What's it going to look like after 5 years? So you got to almost think long term when you're thinking in terms of passion and dreams. The vision you have for yourself as a performer is not going to happen overnight. I don't care how many people have been automatically discovered. They weren't just automatically discovered. They worked for 5 or 10 years and then they were discovered. Things are not going to happen super, super quick for you. It's not how life works. It's not how performance works. You have to work at it in order for it to work for you. And, making that commitment to myself to go another 60 days of doing a podcast every day, it's scary. Oh yeah, it's scary. Oh my God, I'm nervous as hell. Are you kidding me? What if I miss a day? Oh my God, people aren't going to listen to me if I miss a day. And granted, that may not be true. I hope you still listen even if I miss a day. But why am I thinking about missing a day? I just made it 31 days doing a podcast every single day. My podcast runs for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, 15 to 20 minutes. And, then it takes me 15 minutes to upload it. We're talking a half an hour, 35, 40 minutes tops of my day dedicated to my dream. So I make this podcast, and once in a while I have someone jump on the calendar. So, I have another half an hour where I take off and I chat with them. And again, that's beingonstage.com/calendar. Haha, got to shove that in there one more time. But it has been an incredible journey over the past 31 days. And a couple of things that I did forget to mention on that July 31st podcast was that yes, mistakes will happen. I had days where I forgot to put in the introduction to my podcast. It's the music at the beginning of this one. Hopefully I don't forget to do it on this one. I've had ones where I've gotten tongue-tied and said the wrong things. I've had ones where I've accidentally said a profane word. Nothing bad. We're talking like D, S, A, that kind of thing. But yeah, mistakes have happened. There's been days when I probably should have edited this podcast out or re-recorded something, but I didn't. Because I want the mistakes to be there. I want you to know that it's real. You need to do the same thing. You don't edit your mistakes out of your videos. Don't edit your mistakes out of your life. Don't edit your mistakes out of your performances. People need to know. And don't be afraid of making a mistake. People need to know that you are a human being just like them and will make mistakes. That's how you create a connection between two people, is showing you that you have something in common. I mess up just like you mess up. Go figure. The other thing I did forget to mention was that it also becomes easier to add on once you have a routine. So I added on to it this month, and actually I've been doing quite well. I'm on day 4. I actually started before the month started, but they say when you start something, the more people you share it with, the more likely you are to continue it. So here I am sharing it with anyone and everyone who's going to listen to this podcast, maybe 20 people, maybe 20,000 people. I started doing yoga. Now, I'm a big guy, always have been a big guy. There was a time when I did CrossFit about, I guess it's been almost 6 years now. And I lost a whole lot of weight, became like really buff. I was like a 220 solid muscle, a little bit of chunk, but mostly muscle. But I was coming down from 275. Now I'm pushing 3. I'm not going to be shy about it. I'm pushing 3. I don't look it. I carry it rather well. And I started doing yoga to try and get some mobility and flexibility back into my body. And I'm kind of enjoying it. It's very relaxing. I do it for about 20 minutes in the morning. And I'm not looking to lose weight. I'm not looking to do anything of that. I'm just looking to move a little easier throughout the day. And that's one of the reasons that I haven't been on stage in almost actually, oh my God, it has been just about a year since I've been on stage. But one of the reasons is because I can't move the way I used to. My ankles are tight, my calves are tight, my knees hurt, my hip, and it's carrying around all this weight and not really doing the things that I need to do for my body. And I know this is all about me, but there's a point here too. So one of the things I'm going to encourage you is, if you don't have a daily fitness routine, and I can't believe I'm saying this, try some yoga. It's not that bad, truthfully, and it is kind of relaxing and it does feel good. And I'm only 4 days in, and I'm like preaching yoga, but yeah, that's what I'm doing, is trying to get some more, mobility and flexibility in my life. And I think we all need a little more mobility and flexibility in our life. But that's what I've added on to my routine. And the whole point of that whole yoga conversation was that once you get through the first 30 days of doing something for every 15 or 15 minutes to 30 minutes, add something else. Add another 15 minutes. Work your way up to where you're spending, maybe 2 hours on your passion eventually. And again, this is not solid rehearsal, guys. This is extra stuff that you need to do. Posting on social media, shooting quick videos, editing the videos to post, learning new things, spending time perfecting, and I don't want to say perfecting because there's no such thing as perfect, but spending time like really honing in on that piece of your performance that you need to work on. Spend the time to do it every day. So what if you're not in a formal rehearsal? Pick up the instrument for 15 minutes and play something. Or, dance for 15, or tell jokes for 15, or do magic for 15 minutes. Whatever it is, do it for 15 minutes. And then next month, do it for half an hour. And eventually, you're going to build up to the point where people are paying attention, you are getting gigs, and you're doing it all day, every day. And there you go. You're living your passion. It may take it may take 5 years, it may take 10, 15 years. Hopefully it doesn't take 15 years, but it may take 5 years, but you're going to be living your passion because you took the time to do it every day. You gained the momentum and you kept pushing forward and crushing those barriers. So always remember, I believe in you. I'm here for you. Again, Reggie at beingonstage.com. And, keep on shining.